I think I'm talking to your bestie on Monday, Destiny, Mr.
Nice.
Girl.
I think I'm talking to one of your besties soon. Ashton.
Ooh. What? On what? On what topic?
About whatever we're talking about, okay? We're real close now. Do you have a problem with that?
I mean, I just would really love to know what you guys are talking about. I'm concerned.
Looks like you'll have to tune in. Concerned about what?
Ashton is an innocent, lovely soul. I have no idea why the two of you would need to speak.
What's wrong with innocent? I love talking
I
to
don't
innocent,
dislike
lovely
you,
people.
but I feel like I just feel like
Lauren, you're literally on a boat shooting flares at fucking migrants, okay? Are you serious right now? Slow your fucking roll. Pump the brakes. Jesus fucking Christ, all right? I can talk to your fucking friends if I want to. Calm the fuck down, okay? What are we talking about in here right now?
We're literally just doing the howdy hays. And you just come in here with the fucking
I'm great.
spice.
I'm doing great today. How are you guys all doing today? We're all gonna get infected. Thank you, Lauren. That's your fault.
Yeah.
Your party's fault.
true.
That's happening. Omicron. Basically, at this
we
point,
need to be having Omicron parties.
we never took it seriously in the first place. We were never winning
It's
this
like you're
fight.
dealing with human beings and we can't talk and oh yeah, well let's
Exactly.
just lock down and have everyone stay inside for weeks at a time. Even 2 weeks, impossible, stupid. You got to make.
I agree. I'm waiting for the version of Independence Day that comes where the aliens are fucking murdering people in the street and Alex Jones is on TV talking about how it's actually Hillary Clinton dressed up in a lizard suit trying to find Seth Rich's fucking parents, okay? Because that's what would happen up until the moment where people are getting fucking vivisected, all right? It's going to be denial, denial, denial. True. Base.
It's like $4 trillion printed in the U.S. What do you guys think of that?
It's
Who
fine.
the fuck cares?
Isn't it? Okay? So is it true? I read this that. Well, I'm pretty sure it is that a third of the dollars circulating in the U.S. economy right now were printed in like the last couple years.
Yeah, the biggest study that just came out from the National Bureau of Economics Research actually shows that for every dollar that's printed, you can see a direct increase in inflation. But for some reason, only when Democrats do it. And when Republicans do it, it actually doesn't matter at all. Even though these motherfuckers will print out their fucking ass when they want to spend on that shit. Only when Democrats, it's so crazy. Only Democrats when they print money.
Nothing about whether it was Democrats or Republicans. Like I didn't say a word.
That's true. I did. That is true. It's frustrating that sometimes people really care about printing money. Other times people don't give a fuck about it.
So you didn't like the Trump tax cuts?
If it were the Republicans doing it, I would be just as frustrated. Like
That's good.
I don't.
Yeah, so you didn't like the Trump tax cuts? They were bad.
What tax cuts specifically? I don't know
The
what you're
tax cuts that
referencing.
took like trillions of dollars out of the national debt.
I'd have to look more into it, but Trump has made a lot of terrible decisions that I didn't like. Like,
Just
I think you guys, I don't know. Sometimes
I'm sorry,
it's like
I'm
right wing
being a
must
bully right
always
now.
defend Trump, must always defend Republicans. Bro, I defended you vaguely on a pedophilia panel the other day, all right?
You didn't. It's not that you were defending me. You were just literally the only other person who had their brain even slightly engaged. Okay, which was impressive because you were like 12 fucking White Claws deep into that conversation. So
No,
I don't know if you were just inhibited from attacking.
This is okay.
What?
This person has spent time in Australia. I was severely disappointed. These were light Coronas that were like 100 mils, like fucking thin as shit. Okay, this was not that bad. You weren't pounding that hard.
I didn't
You can
take
do a
the
lot
time.
better. Do us prouder.
I will say thank you, Lauren. I appreciate it that you didn't call me a pedophile, though. Thank you so much. Okay, it means
It
a
was
lot
a
to
big
me.
feat.
All right?
It was a
Thank you
big
so much.
emotional. Really had to get over that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, nobody. Macroecon is like astrology for older men. Who the fuck knows what printing money does? Like, it's hard. I don't know. People are going to be fighting about this until some economic system collapses. But
I don't know. I can go on
I
with
stay
that.
in my lane. I don't like talking about economics too much.
good.
Why?
Fuck economics. It's boring. Let's talk about the culture war.
The culture.
Do we think
war.
that? Do we think
Culture,
that?
discourse?
Do you think trans people should be printing U.S. dollars? Let's talk about this. Okay. Biden wants to put a new trans Afro-American female in charge of the Federal Reserve. Do you think this is okay? Now, they've explicitly said that
changes
their
everything.
goal is to create a U.S. economy that mirrors that of Wakanda. I'm personally not a big fan of the Marvel take on the Black Panther movie. What do you guys think? Where are we at on this? Nobody. Okay. Well, Kyosin, it's your panel. What's the next topic?
I thought that was a fascinating. Honestly, it was too high level for me to engage with. So, did you guys didn't get in any trouble? I saw like one tweet, if that came up in my feed. That was like, "Why are you platforming fascists?" I feel like the Rona, no one cares about that anymore either.
Like I said it before you joined, Ben. There's There are scarier people right now apparently than you. So, as there's always just like the one discourse, and people's attentions are single-minded. So that's
Who's
probably
the scariest person right now? Like Nick Fuentes? Is that who everyone is?
No,
biggest, like,
no, it's the weird, it's the Weird Cuties guy apparently now. He's the guy. He's the guy that everyone's talking about. The very
isn't everyone talking? Like I saw Vosh did a conversation with him. Stardust did one.
Yep.
Destiny's been doing them.
Yep. Which is why people are bringing it up, because everyone's grumpy because they don't understand how platforming actually works.
Basically, whenever I find something interesting, it is like disseminated to the other politics web of people around me who begin to talk about it. And then there's like a weird, I run like a big pool where all of the politics people are in, and we all hang out, we have fun here, and every now and then somebody gets too big for the pool, so they want to run away and never associate with me or anything I do again. So Vosh is out of the pool. He tried to do a Mr. Girl combo. He cut it off because he was losing the optics war somehow when talking to a pedophile, which is funny. No, not when talking about pedophilia, not to a pedophile. I don't think Mr. Girl's a pedophile, but
there is one level of like obviously there's genuine suppression, but it's politics in general. So it's like certain words that you put it on YouTube, and if you're not like a verified news source, they won't feature you, and that's just publicly available knowledge, and it's hurting any small content creator, left wing or right. But with the wave thing, in 2016 there was like just this massive amount of popularity for right wing creators. And the other aspect that happened, other than people just getting bored of the same feminism takes, was people getting nervous about that and thinking there was only a certain amount of the pie, and they had to go and defeat and like murder every other right-wing activist / creator out there in order to keep their piece of the pie. So there is some joy I take. I try not to, but there is some joy I take watching the same thing happen to BreadTube.
Well, I mean, historically, lefties, whenever they get in power, the first people they kill are other lefties. So it's not surprising that they do it on the internet as well. It is what it is.
I mean, like I agree. Like the initial assessment, obviously. Like I don't know about the other stuff. Like that seems more behind the scenes. So I don't know. But
what seems behind the scenes?
Like the idea of like everyone like attacking each other publicly and eating each other up.
Yeah, everybody. I was the most important figure in the anti-SJW movement because I gave a lot of these guys somebody to focus on. As soon as I left, not the whole anti-SJW movement, but there was a group of people, especially Andy Worski, Tonka Saw, JF Gariepi, and all the like people that orbited this crowd. When I would like do regular debates with them, they would all fuck with me and I would fuck with them, and it was fun. And as soon as I left, oh my god, that community turned in on itself so fucking hardcore. And I think you see a little bit of that happening now with politics, where with Trump gone, you don't have this central figure to kind of galvanize everybody to attack. So you kind of like start looking at each other like, okay, well, who's next? Because we can't all shit on Trump anymore, you know?
Do you think that considering Biden's presidency, elder abuse is a low tier criticism?
What does that mean?
Probably.
It means you're taking advantage of someone who's not completely mentally there because they're aging.
You know what? For not being mentally there, what an amazing guy. He's accomplished more than anybody would have thought this far in his presidency. I'm astounded. I never, ever would have had my hopes high enough that this much major shit could get done under President Biden.
What's your favorite policy that Biden has put in place?
The preemptive payment on the child tax credit is an amazing idea. The fact that that got put into play is unreal. That's an unbelievable American policy. Basically, in the United States,
Biden that masterminded that.
Well, either Biden or the lizard Jews that control him, but he was the conduit through which it happened, and I know the Republican wouldn't, so I'll give him credit for it.
Conduit. And there we go. My elder abuse conspiracy confirmed. Just a conduit.
Like they were
we may have been able to find the most boring subjects for a panel in the history of panels.
I was like, yeah, let's talk about fucking. Let's talk about platforming. You're like, I'm all good, man. Let's talk about.
I tried child porn. You guys moved off it. What do you want to talk about next?
You're talking about fucking child porn. Do that fucking pedophilia, whatever the fuck, right?
But like,
okay, do you think it's worse to have child porn of a 2-year-old or of a 12-year-old?
Are you asking me like a legitimate question, I guess?
I want you and Lauren and Spectre to all answer. I need a number. Which one is worse, the 2-year-old or the 12-year-old?
Oh, we'd probably.
And then after you answer that, I want you to know why do you think it's okay to have child porn of a 12-year-old? Go.
That seems like the conversation.
You guys don't want to engage with the hard topics, all right? Well, what's next?
I was gonna say, like, I don't know. It feels like
actually. You know what? This is interesting. The Danish minister actually, 12-year-old
I have some anecdotal. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna lie,
sounds
there was a
weird.
little bit of enjoyment I got knowing he was disagreeing with me and no one could hear anything he was saying. It was
Wait,
like those memes where
Oh, so you like deplatforming too? At least you're honest about it.
everyone likes it a little bit.
I'm curious
Okay,
about your
so
music
there's a
takes.
part
Oh,
of
sorry, go on.
everyone that when there's someone you dislike, even if you're like, oh, I love free speech, everything, of course. Whenever I see someone that I really didn't like get banned from a platform, I'm like, oh, that's a real shame.
Wow. Actual spiteful
That's
cunt.
unfortunate.
Unbelievable. Disgusting.
Wait, I'm curious, Lauren. Is there like where do you go and where do you stand on deplatforming, being like the target of deplatforming herself? Oh, by the way, I want to be super clear before I answer this question. I don't want to be like a shit, right? Because I feel like it feels like a real shit if I did this, right? I have actively advocated publicly previously for your deplatforming, and I'm not going to pretend like I didn't. I'm not going to pretend like I haven't said
now
that. It's
you're
like
platforming
no,
me.
I'm being very specific because I don't want to be like one of those people. It's like talk shit and then like has invited you on and plays like buddy the entire time. Because like
We're
I'm
just keep
enjoying
talking
the-
shit to her. Fuck it, dude.
You know it's okay because I have no idea who you are.
Yeah, that's
So I
fair.
wouldn't
Oh
know.
my
that's
God.
perfect. No, that's fine. I wouldn't expect you to. I just want to be like, I'm trying to be honest because I feel like it'd be like fucking shittier if I wasn't. Okay, and I'm happy to go into it more if you like. No, that's fine.
How fucking sick would it be if people that LARP as cat girls had a full, huge fucking tits?
That'd be
that would
sick.
just be the sickest.
That'd be the
that would
fucking
actually be the
sickest thing.
awesomest fucking thing in the world. I would love that. Their whole body would move and like everything would just, man.
We all good?
That's what's on my mind right now. I think Lauren's issue is that it feels like you have a problem that she mischaracterized the area by leaving out a building. But it sounds like she's saying, well, I characterized the area accurately. I might have left this building out, but it wouldn't really have changed the characterization that I made, which was accurate. And then it sounds like your issue is that I feel like I could be wrong, but I think you have like a second order issue. Your issue wasn't that she characterized an area a certain way. Your issue is that her characterization of that area seemed negative, but you're fighting on the characterization instead of her portraying it as a negative one. That's what it feels like
Thank
to me.
you.
But
That's exactly it. Someone's got a really good point in my chat here.
Yep.
Lauren Southern, you are a racist and a fascist. Your fans
No, of course. That's not the thing I'm saying.
Of low character and weak stock. I pray every day that the most progressive force in this world, the People's Republic of China, led by the most advanced Communist Party, will invade and give all 4chan users the Uyghur solution in Alaska. What do you think of that?
Nice meme.
based.
Fucking, that was like the base country you could have moved to, okay? If there's anywhere else on the planet, at least you're moving to the better one. That's all I'll say, all right?
Why the fuck
are
would
you
you
in-
say Canada is? Why would anybody like Canada? Canada's a worse.
I'm not talking
degraded
about
version
Canada.
of
I'm not talking about
America.
Canada. I'm talking about Australia. If you're gonna immigrate anyway, immigrate to Australia.
Jesus. Why the fuck? Why Australia? What?
Because this place
Have
fucking
you ever been
rules.
to Canada, Steven?
Unfortunately, several times. Yes.
You were in
But
Toronto, though. Toronto doesn't count. You have
I've been
like-
to Victoria, the island in fucking Vancouver. I've been in Vancouver. I've been in Toronto. I've been in Montreal, Quebec.
You didn't like
okay?
Vancouver?
It's a degraded version of America. Every city you have is like a knockoff, worse version of an American city. All of your culture is copy pasted from America. Okay, and you guys do land acknowledgements, which is the cringiest fucking thing in the universe. Okay, so it is your country is a degraded version of America in every sense of the word. I'm sorry. Well, it's not. Yeah, that's just
Oh, no.
Wait, you went to
You're
New
very,
Zealand, didn't you? Like
okay,
New
wait.
Zealand, Destiny?
what.
There's
Didn't
a
you like New
philosophy-
New
Zealand?
Zealand was super beautiful. Why the fuck would you bring up New Zealand in a conversation about Australia?
Because
These
it's
two
literally
places
just
gonna be-
it's just a shit Australia. It literally is just a shit Australia. We pay $6 a fucking bottle of milk.
98% of your country is inhabited by fucking snakes and is hotter than the surface of fucking Mercury. Okay? New Zealand is a lush, beautiful landscape, 2 huge islands ripe for exploration, for your inner child to come out and adventure across the surface of one of the most beautiful places on the planet. Okay? What do you guys do in Australia? Okay? You kill your immigrants, you lock everybody down forever. You're horrible people, all right?
The fucking like one, it's really funny in telling that like Americans are always they always bring up the spiders and the snakes. Like these things aren't just like, it's funny because the most aggressive military nation on earth is like scared of things that aren't going to hurt you if you don't hurt them. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just always really telling about values here, right?
Except
Even God hates Australia. When the ozone layer opened up, wasn't it literally right over your godforsaken
it
fucking
was.
country? Like, dude, I'm sorry, man. Okay, you're like anti-Israel. The opposite of the chosen people, all right, is just a fucking nightmare of a barren landscape, okay? Listen, I stopped giving a fuck about Australia when Steve Irwin died, okay? I'm sorry, but that's the truth, all right?
I was so shocked when I walked to the airport. I was like on the front cover of every newspaper, And I was like, holy shit, this isn't a real country. It's like being famous in Japan or something. Like, I literally just entered the country.
Wait, is Japan not a real country? What?
Well, like, no one in Canada or America I was on no newspapers there. I couldn't walk. I didn't have any paparazzi following me in Canada or America. I go to Australia and suddenly I'm, Kim Kardashian.
I bet you would have been real popular in New Zealand,
country.
no?
Oh,
Japan.
that's an interesting topic to bring up.
Sorry, what's the next? Where are we? What was the next conversation topic?
What's that? I'm curious. What's that like? That's got to be like some surreal shit, right?
Yeah, Jacinda Ardern saying that my entry was unacceptable. That was pretty weird.
I don't know. Like, I find it weird when I interact with some of these people that I've seen like before. Like, I'm like a fucking all the way down here, tiny invisible man. You've never heard of me before, right? And I find it a little bit weird when I talk with and interact with people that I've like seen on the screen, fucking, you know what I mean? But like, for a leader of a free nation to say like you're unacceptable, it's got to be something about it that's like hitting, right?
Yeah, maybe for a bit, but I don't know. When you're in this job, you get over that kind of stuff pretty quick. And like, you can find it. I found it very entertaining at the time.
Do you feel like much has like changed? Like, obviously, like now your life's like a little bit more settled. You've got like a cushy Murdoch job or something, right? I've seen you on Fox. I've seen you on Sky News before.
No, that's very much not what happened. But
well, what's the go? Fill me in. I don't know. All I do is I know you. I see you on my TV sometimes. That's about it.
Thank you, Andrew. I've not been on your TV in a long time because
you don't know what's on his TV. That sounded way more creepy than I intended it to.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. She's about to go check for cameras. I didn't mean it that way. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. No, one of the heads of like the Greens, one of like the leaders of the Greens in Sydney or something decided to say that I was like a terrorist in front of like the
but they're the Greens. They're irrelevant. Okay, this is a Greens hating channel. All right, like
apparently they weren't, because it was in front of a commission about the Murdoch News channel, so that really didn't go over well, because the Greens leader, she was like, imagine if like a Twitch girl just actually had government power and was able to directly question Murdoch News. That's what happened. She was like, why do you have a woman on your channel that shot flares at refugees and like is trying to murder people and cause mass shootings? And the heads of Murdoch News were sitting there and they were like looking through their notes, like, holy shit, what is she talking about? I had no idea about all of the drama with and accusations against me. So they just stopped having me on.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
So you got fucking deplatformed by Sky News.
Deplatformed by Sky, that's true.
Just to be clear, for people who don't know, this is the equivalent of like getting kicked off of Newsmax.
Damn.
This isn't just Fox News, okay? This is like some real cable shit that you got to get at.
There's some really great people at Sky, like some really lovely people, but unfortunately they're dealing with like that commission was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah. So I'm guessing you're not a fan of Kevin Rudd.
I don't know much about your Australian politics. You know who I got along with, who I saw in the office every once in a while, was the One Nation chick.
Oh, Pauline Hanson?
Pauline.
Can you tell us some Pauline stories? I'm curious. I'm just going to get another drink.
I don't know, she's just like we only ever met in Crossing and did a few shows together, but she was a cutie. Okay, if you don't know who Pauline Hanson is, she's the head of like their nationalist party in Australia. And if you remember when that missionary went to an island to go reach out to some untouched tribes and got killed by spears, she said Australia needs to have the same border policy. And like it went super viral. So she just says like, and she's like the leader of a party in Australia that's super established and has like members of parliament. It's quite funny
because it's
entertaining.
It's funny to like look back, like looking at her, and I think that she stands as like a great yardstick for like the right in Australia, because like she was relevant, super relevant back in the 80s and 90s for like a series of interviews that she did. I was like, I don't like it. Was like the big thing. Please explain during like a 60 Minutes interview, because she was known as like a chip shop owner. Yeah. She was known as like a chip shop owner, right? And
someone in my chat named Tony Abbott's balls says she's batshit insane.
Oh, like chip shop, like fish and chips, like a British food shop, right? These are super common in Australia. Do you guys have like fish and chips in America and Canada? Is that like a thing? Like the fucking thin thing, the little tiny ones are fries, and the big thick ones are fries, and the ones that curl are fries.
The flat ones that are like flat potatoes that you get in a bag. What do you call those in
Scallops.
Australia? I never even figured.
Christ.
That's confusing. That's a kind of shitty one. Because then you got like the seafood scallops and the potato, the piece of potato that's like covered in batter scallops, right?
No, I'm talking about chips, like ketchup chips or salt and vinegar chips.
Oh, we just call them chips.
Call those?
It's called chips.
Well, you see, it's stupid. You need fries and chips so that you can differentiate.
How do you
It's called
distinguish
using
between
language.
But you got like
properly.
7 things the same fucking name. What the fuck?
This is common in the English language.
Do you know how overseas you tell who a Canadian is?
Oh no.
They're the first person that goes, I'm not American. Okay, good for you. Good for you, bro. We're all proud of you, okay?
They all sound the same too. It's actually, I don't know, like this is like maybe, can you guys tell like Americans, can you tell the difference between Americans and Canadians by their accent or the sound they speak?
Honestly, people from Toronto and Vancouver can be pretty slight. Once you get out of there, like somebody's from fucking Alberta or some shit, it's like you're some weird shit. But on the people from the city, it can be pretty slight. On certain words you can, but nobody's out here saying like a boot, right? Like it's a lot more subtle than that. Huh?
People are actually out here saying a boot.
Like, there's like hosers in like deep Canada. You guys know what a
fucking
hoser
word.
is?
That's
There's a word for it in every culture. So you would know what's the Australian word for that? Like someone who just drives their ute around Queensland.
Bogans.
Bogans, yeah. So like a hoser is a Canadian bogan, and then I think they're like gopniks in Russia or something. And then there's a British version too. Chavs. Everyone's got their word.
No, chavs are like those are really different. Like gopniks and chavs are like, because gopniks and chavs are like the kind of people who wear like fucking all-in-one tracksuits and squat like so far down that they fucking could streak their ass across the ground. Okay,
but like the point is they're like this lower class, like this poorer class of
I don't know if it's like the same kind of person though.
Like a tacky culture.
Aren't Hoosiers more like kind of like white? I don't want to say like white trash redneck. Isn't that like
that's what
a Hoosier is?
Are like I don't know. Let me look up the definition, but how I imagine them is with a beer and like out in the woods wearing flannel.
I think chavs are more like aren't chavs more like fuckboys? Like
you're right.
Like
different, but what I'm saying is they are the poor, like the poor version of your larger culture.
Gotcha.
Do you get what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm making any sense at all. Hopefully,
so like the American
equivalent
would be like hillbillies, basically, right?
Yeah.
One thing I think is like really fucking sick, and that I think Rona has done like a really good job of exposing, is like how well we're able to communicate now without like being near each other and do stuff with each other. I don't know. I think that's fucking cool.
Communicate with each other well?
Yeah, I was going to take the exact opposite of that.
Actually able.
You have the capability, but
yeah. But
real life communication is way different than this dog shit fucking online communication. Holy fuck. Fuck online shit.
Yeah, I just had someone pay $1 to say, Lauren, please let me taste your white woman saliva. So I don't think we communicate well with each other at all.
That's fair.
We basically talked about how...
Did you groom someone named Mr. Mooten?
Hey, well, listen, all right? He's cool with it now, so... Mr. Moon is a friend that I think he started playing DayZ with us when he was probably like 16 or 15. But he's like snuck around and he's a streamer now. So you know what? He's cool. He's a cool guy. He was like my first child to me, really. I say that Nathan is my second son because Moon was my first. So yeah. And now we live in the same building. So yeah.
That sounds very normal and healthy. But continue with
I've been streaming for the past
argument.
Okay, if anybody who's going to criticize me for not having a normal or healthy life, okay, weren't you doing like fucking conservative pageants when you were fucking 18 about political debate and shit? Okay, slow your roll there.
I was on the news. I was skipping high school to go be a conservative commentator.
So, yeah, pump the brakes, all right, Mrs. Hitler, all right, slow down, all right. Yeah, we talked about consent. It was fun. Yeah, it's a good conversation.
It's one of the more frustrating things.
No. What's complicated about consent? Okay.
Like literally everything.
Let me clarify that.
Yeah.
You're right. There is. We're not talking age of consent. We're talking just like consent in general, right?
No, I mean you can argue age of consent gets weird too when you get like rummy Julia shit, but no, we're talking about consent for sexual things in general.
Okay. So that was a big conversation, like whether you need literal consent forms, which I think they were talking about making laws around on certain campuses in California. That is a complex topic.
Well, even if you were to do like full-on consent forms, right? It's even more difficult.
crazy.
Huh?
Yeah.
That doesn't solve it. It's like so much more difficult than that.
Yeah, and somebody could like, since you've signed it now, are you like committed to it? Like, are you fucked now? Literally, when you're like, having to like, oh god, I signed the form. Like, I guess I'm on this wild ride until this motherfucker finishes. Like, fuck me, you know? You can get stuck. Wait, have you ever?
Revoke the consent?
I guess yeah, you'd have to have that clause in there. Have you ever had a chubber that you had to go through with Kyozen or Spectre? Has this happened to
Is
you?
that what?
A chubber that you. When I was a wee lad of 21, 22, and I'd never done like Tinder and online shit, that was all like really new. I didn't know about the magical abilities of women to take selfies from deceptive angles. I was a child, okay? A child of 21. I didn't know anything about that. So this girl had all the standard photos, like, oh my god, she's got big boobs, she looked pretty cute, like, oh, this is awesome. And I had we decided to meet up and got a hotel room. It was gonna be so much fun. And I was waiting in the lobby, and she said she parked, and so I was going to go outside to meet her because I'm a gentleman. And I opened the door and I go outside, and wow, I heard her before I saw her approaching. Okay, and I was like, oh my god, this is going to be the largest one that I've ever tangoed with before in my entire life. I had to step inside and take a few deep breaths. Okay, there was like some psychological prep going into this person, but like they walked in, at first, I kind of like waited, like maybe they won't recognize me, but she saw me immediately. She's like, "Oh my God, Steven, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's me," or whatever. Yeah, but I mean, like, I figure we're that far, and I would just feel so bad being like, "I'm sorry, but I have a weight limit, and you're about 150 pounds north of that." I couldn't say no. It's like, well, let's go. We had to do it. I had to do it. I had to go through with it.
Was this like MySpace days?
Was this what?
MySpace days?
No, how the fuck old do you think I am? I'm 33.
You're older than me, Connor, right? Yeah.
Okay, Jesus, MySpace. To meet someone on MySpace and fuck them, I had to been like 13 years old. What the fuck? This is a long time.
No. Because I was gonna say MySpace was like that era was like the worst for it. Like people used to take photos not from like here. They used to take them from like here.
Oh, right? For the MySpace angle shit. Oh yeah, sure, yeah. There was one girl from Tinder that did watch a stream though. That was really awkward, and she got really mad. So I met a girl. Okay, I like women that have strong personalities. Okay, a lot of women are like demure and they roll over. That's so fucking boring to me. And there's a good mix of like meeting people that are totally disconnected from online shit is fun, because it's kind of weird when I'm like interacting with fans or whatever, because they're like, oh, Destiny, I know every single detail about your life for the past like 12 years. And I'm like, that's cool. I don't even remember your first name. What is it again? Like there's like so much catch up that we have to do where it's like, I don't know anything about you. And you're like quoting, like, do you remember when you did this thing? And it's like, yeah, I was there. Yeah, I do. It gets a little, I mean, it's not the worst thing, but like, it's nice meeting people that are totally disconnected from it sometimes. Yeah.
I assure you it's the worst thing from both sides. I met this anchor from Fox News that I watched when I was a kid, and I quoted back something that he said like 20 years ago to him, like exact quote. And I was like, I love this quote from you. And he never invited me back on his show. I think I was like never allowed on Fox News again.
Nice.
Like, you psycho stalker bitch. You stay away.
Well, Lauren, you're like on both sides of it then, right? Speaking about people like wanting to like taste some of your saliva or some shit.
Oh god.
Yeah, absolutely. I know the experience of both sides. No, I don't think. No, I've never been a psycho stalker. I've been a fan.
Every psycho stalker says that, but
okay. Laughs awkwardly.
It's so true. I've had multiple encounters with women, and we have the logs where I'll make the joke and I'll be like, oh, like, as long as you don't get like super crazy, and they're all like, oh, LOL, I would never do that. And you know, there's been more than one that has said that. We've had that conversation verbatim, and they've been a crazy fucking psycho stalker bitch. But you know, what are you gonna do?
A red flag. That's a red flag. Saying you're
being
not
a psycho. Oh, no, what are you supposed to say? I am a psycho?
No, if you like start a conversation with someone, like, I'm definitely not a psycho. I'm not like those other psychos.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or are they just saying that unprompted, or are you asking?
No, I usually say like, I hope you're not a psycho.
4 beers in. I have no idea what's happening anymore. There goes my New Year's resolution, day one.
What, drink less? Yeah.
No more drink. No
I
more
still haven't seen
stream.
you crack a single fucking beer, motherfucker.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's not coming. You just keep putting it off. I think I said it before you joined. Like I work, obviously, like I'm not a full-time creator, right? My like work outside of this is to work in.
Okay, so wait. No, what I heard is it's like 3 times the price there. So let's see, price of.
Kind of like guns.
It's what it probably is they have drugs, but it's like compared to America, probably not. It's kind of like how when you went to Malmo and said it was an incredibly scary place, but compared to any American city, it was very tame.
Wait, where did you just say?
I coughed. What were you? I'm sorry.
I was gonna say like there is like a massive drug problem in Australia,
Okay.
especially in rural towns.
Australian cocaine prices hit $450 a gram after 50%
That's $450 Australian.
price spike in 2020, making them.
But
the
Australia has a
highest in the
minimum wage of
world.
like 52 AUSD or whatever AUD
No.
an
So
hour,
like,
right?
look at this. So 450 Australian is gonna be.
We're talking about fucking
Yeah, do
goat
the
prices.
conversion. I'm curious now.
That would be still like
course you are.
$330
Fuck
US.
you.
How much? 330. How much are you paying for a gram in the US?
So let's see. What are the US cocaine prices?
Because like the big thing,
35 if you
The
know
big
right people in
problem-
Texas.
The average gram price.
the big problem here in terms of drugs, in terms of like actual epidemic, is like something called ice. It's like the big drug
meth?
here. Pardon? It's a kind
What
of.
is ice?
I think it's like a cheap meth.
Anyone
Something
in my
I've heard of.
chat, what is the average price? Someone is saying $40 to $50 a gram.
Yeah, it depends on
true?
where you are and who you know.
Of course, you fucking.
So
Is that like the average price? Again, I don't know, because like I feel like Surface, like you're getting it for that price. Because that's like Surface is like, where do you guys do
I'm
spring break?
concerned by how good my chat are at knowing all these prices very specifically and quickly. Chat, are you okay? I know we're talking about my corona problem today, but
Yeah, about consent, do we feel like it's actually harmful to set that as like a standard for guys? Like if they just are working towards this one thing, right? Like getting the S.
Wait,
is that a healthy way
is
for
what
them to engage in
harmful?
relationships?
them just
'Cause you brought up
pursuing
consent
sex.
earlier, and that reminded me I wanted to, what do you think about that?
Obviously, I think that's not healthy to just pursue sex when you're dealing with another human being, because humans have souls that get hurt and emotion, whether men like it or not. And I'm sure this is the case for men as well, but I think maybe particularly more for women. You guys would have to clarify that to me. Like sexual relation is connected to emotional connection as well. Like that bond is created every time, whether people like to pretend it is or not. Destiny, I feel like you would know a lot about this with your escapades.
You know,
And
the
people
vast majority of
say
them
they
go
don't care.
A-okay, perfectly fine. I think a lot of them go just great,
A lot
just
of people
swell.
that were like, this is like totally chill. We're just gonna, just have a sexual connection. There will be no emotional aspect to this at all.
Well,
And
sometimes it
that's
happens,
just happened
but
every time.
you know what? That happens with men and women being friends, regardless of sexual relationships or not. So you might as well have the most fun you can before feelings get involved. Why not?
True.
Where do you guys think the line is drawn between assault and vague consent?
That's kind of
depends
what
on
I was
how
getting
they.
at.
Depends on the
Like
twit
if-
longer, I guess.
No,
If
but
we
like,
could- if you were
Depends
able
on
to
how many
do that,
retweets
yeah.
they get. If it's less than 10 retweets, sounds like it was A-okay. More than 10, sounds like you fucked up. Or the person you fucked with was too popular. So proceed with caution. I think there's fundamentally two different ways you can approach sexual relationships. The more common one is sex is something that you're trying to like get out of somebody, and then the second one is sex is something you're trying to enjoy with somebody. Depending on how you frame these in your mind is going to like dictate every action. If sex is something you're trying to get out of somebody, then your goal when you interact with somebody is to make the right moves, answer the right questions, and put them in the right situation where they can't say no. That's the goal. If sex is something you're looking to enjoy with somebody, what?
Sorry, no, continue. I
If
thought
sex is something
you
you're trying to enjoy with a second person, then the goal is like, I want to make sure that this person genuinely wants to have this experience with me. So you engage them in that way such that both of you are going to have a good time when it happens. But I think that socially, we kind of like aim ourselves more towards the first, like make sure you give her a ride home, try to get her into your place, make sure that she's had alcohol. Like the goal is to like, you're trying to like get something from the other person versus like enjoying an experience with another person. I think the difference in framing that will determine how you go about it. And it's boring. I don't like the concept of consent.
That's
The
right.
framing is dumb. It's so easy to rape somebody with them saying yes. Like if I'm going to an event and I ask a girl, hey, do you want to split a room? I will fuck this girl every time if I don't give a fuck about her. Because once we're in the room and it's bedtime and she has no other place to go because of the implication or whatever, right?
It's really easy. That Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes, but this is how a lot of people this is how people at conventions fuck, right? But like when you're setting it up in this way, you're like, you have consent, but it doesn't really mean anything, right? Because the person's not gonna say no because like, fuck, what are they gonna do? Sleep outside in the fucking hallway for the night?
So this is why I think exact situation.
Yeah, so people, did you kick the guy out? Did you? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it ended up being like an absolute disaster. I was 19 and a guy invited me to go cover the slut walk in California. I may have even been 18. And he's like, I'll pay for your flight. I just really want to see like these feminists get owned and everything. And I'm like, oh, yeah,
oh God. I'm so young. That's so precious. He's going to cover my flight and everything. Oh my God.
It's like, because I literally, I was working at a casino for like tips basically and like barely paying my university. And I'm like, oh yeah, I could never pay to do this on my own. He's like, I'll pay for your hotel, your flight, all of that. And then I get there and he's like, here's your hotel. Where you're sleeping, and it was like a Harry Potter closet at someone's Airbnb, you know? And he's like, I'm sleeping in the bed with you.
Yeah. We'll be on opposite sides, though. It's okay. I won't do anything.
I'm like, wait, what do you mean? He's like, I'm paying for it, so I sleep in the bed with you. Like, no, that doesn't make sense to me. And I was able to kick him out that night, but it ended up being like a full-on stalker situation, like him banging the door, screaming. It was bad. It was really bad.
That's fucked up, man.
And then like went online and like, of course, did the whole shit talk me. She's a horrible. She's not actually a real anti-feminist. Blah 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 blah.